Hey, it's July the 14th, I believe, 2020, 2024. And obviously, yesterday, I want to say it's the 13th. And of course, a day that shall go down in infamy. Without being too long winded, you remember that whole JFK thing? That was pretty big. It was pretty damn big. And then, of course, the Robert F. Kennedy thing happened shortly after that. Those are pretty big. The JFK thing, I'm pretty sure that's going to be, I don't want to call it a footnote. The Donald Trump thing that just happened yesterday, way bigger, way more dramatic. More, I mean, it's just more. It's more than that. It's more than that. You know, people never ever could be quiet about the JFK thing. All right. This is more than that. Not exactly shocked, obviously, and I think a lot of the viewers coming through this channel ain't exactly shocked by this, but of course, it is no good. No good at all. And so now we'll watch what takes place. You know, it's very appropriate that we brought up just the other day organizations of people enacting terrible, terrible things that you wish never happened, such as the Parkland thing, the Sandy Hook thing, and many others that we just don't have time to bring up. I'm sure on many different occasions. All right, and I can't say, just like most people obviously could not say with authority what the hell took place over at the Donald Trump thing over there in Pennsylvania. Mm-mm. See, and for years now, we've been coming more and more to the realization that most people don't, because most people think, oh, CSI Miami, oh, this and that, Law and Order, they're going to wrap it up in an hour. Absolutely not. That's not how the world works. That's not how evidence works. That's not how science works. None of that. I mean, you got to understand that even for the simplest, most basic details, in order to really understand and know them, and we're just talking about the basics, I'm not going into like all the different other details that eventually do come out, and they always do come out, always. Just for the basics of knowing what exactly took place over there in Pennsylvania, you're talking days, not hours. And you know how like the news sources always, the quote news sources, they don't know shit. Within hours, they always want to say, "Oh, this is definitive. Oh, we know this. Oh, there is one person dead, and then oh, the shooter's dead too. He's been eliminated, and we don't have a threat anymore. And he was the only one. He was the only one on that roof, and he had no help from anybody. Nobody." See, that's what I want to point out. And people are going to pour through it, obviously, even harder than the JFK thing. Like I say, it's going to be even more feverish. And so, with that feverish effort by everybody, it's going to become, of course, there's going to be all sort of details contradicting and stuff. You're going to really have discernment, and that's the case with any individual. You're going to have discernment. You're going to have to figure out what you're hearing and what's stupid and retarded and what's actually probably the case. And then certain things are going to definitely be the case, right? Documented things. So I just wanted to come on this video and point out that it is going to take days. When you hear stuff from the ancient news media, which is always wrong, obviously just assume that they're wrong. I mean, do what you want, but assume that they're wrong. Either that or lying to you is not trustable anyways, no matter what they say. And so in these days, with technology that we got, we personally have news sources that we believe in and trust in. Instead of like ABC, NBC, Fox, and everybody else, MSNBC and all this. We don't trust them. They're not trustable individuals. But we do have people that we can like look to who we do actually trust. And so we'll listen, we'll be listening for days, we'll be listening for the rest of our lives to these people that we can actually trust. And they won't exactly know the details. they'll be listening and absorbing from all sort of different ways. So we had to take what they say with a grain of salt, right? The ancient news media don't even think to ever believe what they're saying ever, period. But with the people who we trust, those sources, we actually had to take what they say with a grain of salt, all right? Because there's no way of knowing. There's no way of knowing. And so the news is gonna try to play their tricks that they always do. Try to pretend like they definitively know. The news is ran by damn robots who basically are reptiles and stuff with makeup on. So, but okay, long story short, of course, this is what I would stress to people, having been like familiar with incidents. I mean, I'm not the foremost expert, but with the familiarity that I have, know this: there's no reason to believe you know whether or not there was multiple shooters. Or there could have been multiple shooters. There could have been that supposed shooter on the roof, and perhaps he was getting help from somebody. There's no reason to know whether or not it's going to take days and days and days and actual detective work and actual interrogation with more feverish effort than the damn January 6th, whatever the F that was. You know how they investigated the shit out of that for years? No, it's going to take way more effort in order to get down to the bottom of this. There could have been somebody working with the shooter. There could have been multiple shooters. There could have definitely, because with the evidence that we got so far, there could have definitely been a stand down. How is it that like people didn't know? I mean, they were being told, and I've heard some of the witness testimonials say that, oh, we told people that there was a guy on the roof. If there's ever a guy on the roof at all, period, you either know who that is, or you fucking get to that roof real quick. Within seconds, you're at that roof. You're like, oh, we don't know who you are. You're on a roof. That's not allowed. It's going to take your life now. Right? But we already know, or we think we know. We're taking it with a grain of salt. According to the information, it was like there was minutes of time in between spectators telling authorities, hey, is somebody like over there suspicious? And then they see him popping up on a roof, and they're like, hey, he's on a roof. You might want to take his life or something real quick. You might want to at least eliminate the threat somehow. But that didn't happen. That points to a possible, perhaps, stand down. And then who stood down? All this evidence, as daunting as it might seem right now, that we're gonna have to collect. All this evidence, I got to assure you, especially with the video cameras, with all the witnesses and everything else, all this evidence, when you can consider ballistics and who got shot and shot with what, it's going to absolutely draw a crystal clear picture of what had happened. Absolutely, in time it will. It's inevitable that it will. This is the way of God. It's going to be brought to the light, period. Everything's going to be brought to the light. Let's say in a weird, different dimension, if Donald Trump just like did this as a stunt, and he paid some people to do this, like, and then he was like, yeah, nick me in the ear. Obviously, that's very dangerous. But let's assume in another dimension that Donald Trump, this is a ploy by him to obviously be the next president. There's no way in Hades. After that, what we just saw happen, Macho Madness, all by Donald Trump, in a moment that we can't forget, that's emblazoned into our brains forever and ever. There's no way on earth that Donald Trump's not the president. He's going to be the next president. They're going to try to make him the king anyways. All right? He is more than a legend on earth. All right? So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. The truth is going to come to light, and people everywhere, every which way, you already know, are going to do whatever they can, whatever in their power, to ignore the clear and simple truth. And of course, they're going to say, oh, without a doubt, there was a shooter. Oh, nobody was working with him. It's just a lone gunman, like it always is. It was just a lone gunman, and he was working by himself and stuff. He's kind of crazy, but Donald Trump's Hitler and stuff, so, he got kind of wound up. And so, case closed. There's nothing else to see here. No, everything else is to see here. It's going to take days and weeks and perhaps months to really, really, really get down to the nitty gritty of what exactly happened and did not happen on yesterday. All right, so patience definitely key. And it's hard to have patience in such anxiety riddled times, but that's what Christians are for. That's what the children of God are for. The children of God will have the patience and will look into the dark abyss just how long it's going to take. All right, and it doesn't matter, and we will not be moved. All right, I'm pretty sure of that. So I'll holler at y'all probably later about this. More than likely, I'll holler at y'all.